Hello and welcome to the September update from Dean Park Station. Now, there's been a lot going on in the layout this month, and there's new additions to the layout as well, and I hope to take you through all of those in this video. There'll also be a September running session as well. Hope you enjoy. Cheers! Okay, first things first, I've now got both access routes to the fiddle yard completed. This one takes the route from the Y turnout here round through the back board, and it joins to what is the west end, if you like, of the fiddle yard, which I'll show you just now. So that is the fiddle yard fully operational, and access can be gained to locos and rolling stock from the main layout. Here we have the access route coming around the curve there and down to the single turnout, and that then splits into two and takes it into both routes of the fiddle yard. As you can see, I've started to fill the yard with stock. This HST is appearing on the layout for the first time. I bought it back in April or May, I think it was, and it's now got a place to be stored in the fiddle yard, and I say I'll do some running with that in the running session. Really pleased to finally get this liveried HST out of its box, run in, decoder fitted, and storming around the layout. The other sidings that I have put in here, I've got the ScotRail Express formation there. It's a 5-coach formation, 4 Mark IIIs, 1 Mark II DBSO, so that can run with the 47 stored with it. The hoppers took out almost 1.5 of my sidings there. As you can see, I've got 21 or 22 of them, so I've had to split them. I can put them in one of these, but I wanted to keep that for passenger rolling stock at the moment. This is the Mark 1 siding at the moment, and I've got more Mark 1s in this livery to put in there, and I should be able to fit all 8 of them in there, plus a loco to haul them. My plans are for this siding here is for another HST, obviously partially blocking this turnout just now until it's in use. Then I can store shorter formations in it, like a 3-car DMU in that part there. And these ones, I say, will be used for maybe Mark II and Mark III coaches. Down the other end, at the moment it's mainly a freight kind of collection. That's my rail freight weathered stock, and they take up just about 2 metres of the sidings. I've also got my parcels and mail coaches to fit in here, which will be one of the longer rakes, so along with the Royal Train as well. So, you know, I might look like I've got a lot of space here, but actually when you start to bring all your stock upstairs from its cupboard, you find out that, you know, you're probably going to need some extra storage space, or just keep some of the stock in storage boxes. But there's no plans to extend any more fiddle yards or add any more storage. What I've got will do, bearing in mind I'm going to have a large TMD to store all the locos in, and maybe bits and pieces of rolling stock, including the DMUs, so I'll not need, you know, this area full all the time, because there will be stock on the layout. In the last month I've had a couple of guys asking me about some of the things I have on the layout. Firstly, what was the brand of the mini hoover that I've got? Well, this is the box that it came in, and I got it from Amazon. So just have a look on there. It's a great wee piece of kit, and it's not too expensive. The other question I was asked that I didn't get back to the person was, what are the dimensions of the cable trunking? You're looking at around 2.5mm across by 3mm deep. So that's your kind of dimensions for the 10 Commandments cable trunking. By far the biggest visual change to the layout this month has been the addition of the the back scenes. These are the self-adhesive ones, and they've been put in place all along one side of the layout. They're 15 inches high from the base grass there, which actually sits under the level of the raised area, and that was deliberate. I didn't want too big a grassed area in between the top of the board and the horizon of the trees, if you like, or the base of the trees. So it's sitting up just enough to give a bit of depth, but also give the impression the houses are actually a bit closer. And I say it runs from the end there, giving 25 feet of continuous back scene coming into the town here. We further go along, the gable ends of the houses, the backs of the houses, the old factory in the background. The two flats sit perfectly against the back scenes there, and at the very end where the town scene is, it continues with some houses, and I'll show you that in closer detail in a moment. So these are self-adhesive back scenes, and they've been fitted. You can probably see one of the joins in the actual back boards there, so I can take them out. But the rest of the joins actually in the paper, you'll be hard pushed to pick some of them out, to be honest. They do go together, very well. It took a bit of work, I can tell you, to get them in place. The good thing about the self-adhesive ones is that if you're, if you're going a bit squint or you're not quite happy, you can, peel them back. If there's any air bubbles, you can peel them back and sort it out and relay them, and it keeps the adhesive qualities to the back of them. They really are quite a sturdy item for doing that. I had to gloss paint the back scenes to start with to give it that kind of sheen, the smooth finish that the adhesive likes to stick to, and any imperfections are picked up through the very thin, self-adhesive plastic vinyl or whatever they're made from. So you've got to do as best you can to get a smooth surface. It's not perfect, of course it's not perfect. It's not, it's not spray painted, it's been brush painted back scenes, and it's on top of ply. You're always going to get a wee bit of texture, but take your time and try and get it as smooth as possible. I say I'm working on the end bits now, so they'll be getting fitted shortly. But yeah, I'm really chuffed with this, really chuffed. If I go down to the kind of track level like that, I mean, that's what I was after, line side housing as it goes along, and the bit I've added in here that I'm working on just now is a scenic area, finishing this off with some static grass, and then at the back there the static grass joins nicely to the background, and I've got myself a couple of trees in there. There's some bare bits in the grass where obviously the trees are covering it, and undergrowth is thinner. I've got to add some underbush and coarse turf and all that to that area to make it look it's not been manicured and kept very well. The trees are from the model tree shop, and I think one's a sycamore. I can't mind the other one, but they really are top quality trees. I'm not going to treat myself to the model tree shop's items for all the parts of the layout, but I thought for the first area where I'm actually putting trees in, I thought it would just look good against the back scene, and I have to say I am impressed with their products and their delivery. By the way, ordered it Sunday, it was with me by Tuesday, first class, so that is a first class service. Beside it there will be the level crossing. So I've got to put the paving, the road, the ramps, the paved area, the concrete area over the tracks. So that's going to kind of be my focus for finishing that area, and then obviously doing the paving, the other side of the girder, the road markings, painting obviously the road and the Woodland Scenics tarmac paint and giving it a kind of weathering. So I can kind of call that bit, if you like, from the bridge. I'll zoom out, from the bridge to the tunnels at the other end complete. So that'll be that'll be a wee kind of scenic project that we're working on, and this bit here will continue to be raised round by the other track you can kind of see there, and kind of raised section continued along the back. And I've fit this back scene here. I'm just in the process of fitting them. Again, if I take it down to that level, it does look, you know, gives it depth, perspective. So at the bottom of that will have to be obviously covered by scenic material, which it will, because there'll be obviously an incline there, and all that hopefully will blend in with the scenery around the tracks. Let's see, I'm just going to fit that bit, I've got it cut, and I'm in the process of fitting the small bit. So I'll take you away, we wander along. Apologies for the trusses getting in the way. You know, this, if I kind of go like that, you know, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now the flats, remember I did the raised section and I did a little scenic area here. Well, what I've done is I've fitted a lamppost. It's an Express Models one. They brought out a new range actually, almost to kind of rival the DCC concept ones that I've got on my platform. And this came to me just aluminium coloured, with obviously the plastic parts there and at the bottom, and you set the height, you glue it to the height, and obviously I've just spray painted the pole anyway, and that's an LED light, and that just gives the you know, a bit of security lighting for people walking around the apartments. And I say I've managed to get the back scene to go down to the lower level, because remember this is slightly set down, hence that's why I've calculated it that the grass should continue down beyond this level, because I knew I'd have to cover up this bit. Didn't want the back scene to stop and have a kind of white bit to kind of fill, so I think it's worked in quite well. And the way it has worked in, there's no, you know, houses directly behind that, so again it gives the impression there's a bit of a park at the back of the flats, or, you know, a bit of recreational ground, and I think that's just finished it off beautifully. I have got bits and pieces to add here. I've got a couple of items, a couple of people to add, I shall show you in the next video, and I've found some old Hornby bikes, and they'll just be left lying outside the flats, and obviously they've got my garden parts from one of my previous videos. So yeah, I am very pleased to finally get the flats in situ with the back scene behind it. I just think it finishes the scene nicely. It's, you know, taken a while to get to this stage, but I am now seeing a bit of the finished back scene, and just, yeah. Let me know what you think. You know, I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but let me know what you think of these. Obviously I've got this bit to do now. Now that I've done the back scenes, I can now focus on this bit, kind of Waverley Gardens-ish, with some manicured areas, some trees, some, you know, more wild grasses, etc. But I'm not sure how it's going to tie in with this town scene yet, so that's why I'm holding off with this, because obviously it's going to be earthed up, but I don't want it suddenly to stop. I've got to think what I'm going to put here. Oh, emergency services are busy tonight. So yeah, I'm just kind of, that's in my head just now. How will I get this, you know, I just don't want the slope current there and stopping. I want it to kind of be, because this is going to be raised a wee bit more, and that's kind of in my thoughts for the next, you know, 6 months. Also got an access route cut there as well, and I've got an extra bit cut out there. It just gives me a wee bit of extra access for cleaning the track, and when I'm also going to have another raised area up above that for the town, so you'll never see that, because the town's going to be slightly raised at the back, tiny bit raised here, so it's kind of almost a little incline, and you'll just see kind of maybe the trees upwards. You'll not see the grass area, and there'll be buildings there anyway, so I'm not really bothered about what the trees and that look like at this part of the scene, you know, especially in this area here, because this will be the most raised bit, so you'll still get the clouds and the sky. This month's loco under review really does require no introduction. It is the legendary Flying Scotsman, number 4472. This steam engine is renowned throughout the world and is really an icon of British engineering. It's one of Sir Nigel Gresley's classic designs and was built in Doncaster in 1923. It is a 462 configuration, and it's a class A3 Pacific, and it's shown in this particular guise in the traditional LNER green. This actual item is a Hornby locomotive, and it's R3081, and it was built for a limited edition run by the National Railway Museum. I think it's limited to 1,000. This particular one is certificate number 0665. The locomotive itself in real life was, as I said, a 462, and its performance could reach 100 miles an hour in certain circumstances. It was originally numbered 1472, but it was renumbered 4472, the Flying Scotsman. And this was really, the locomotive to beat in its day. It was built for the London North Eastern Railway, and it performed the East Coast Main Line services from Edinburgh to London King's Cross, along with its fellow A3s. This locomotive has been all over the world in its time, from America to Australia, etc., and it is now forming part of my 00 gauge collection. I always really intended to get the Flying Scotsman, and I had it on pre-order with Hornby this year, and I think it's due to come out in October. But it was £169.99. The price has just gone, rocketing. And when I found this online for £109 on the Locomotion website, I had to have one. And I eventually went up to Perth Model Railway Exhibition, where Locomotion had a stand, and Simon Kohler himself was there, manning the table. And I chatted to him about it, and he said this was a Sandakan model. And anyone who's into their model railways know that Sandakan built the Swiss watch equivalent in model railways. Their locomotives, the motor in the locomotives, the detail, the craftsmanship and the quality of their locomotive in 00 is unsurpassed. So I took it into consideration. £109 or £169 for the latest release. This being a limited edition, this being made by Sandakan, there was really no hesitation. I snapped one up there and then, and I am so glad I did. If we actually take a closer look at the locomotive itself, the detail in it is just mind-blowing, and I'm not really a man for my over-the-top descriptions, but this really is the finest detailed loco I have ever seen. The printing on it is exquisite. On the buffer beam, it's got Class A3 in York, and it's got the details. I mean, it's so finely done, even down to the white border around the red buffer beam. It's just so sharply printed. The lamp irons are there, no signs of glue spillage or anything like that you tend to find on, dare I say it, more recent Hornby releases. The individually fitted details on the smoke box door there, the lamp iron picked out in silver, the German style smoke deflectors. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of these on Flying Scotsman. That's just the way they seem to be being released these days. For me, it actually looks quite a purposeful engine, and is how it's seen by me in preservation. This actual model appears in its preservation form, as you can see by the overhead warning signs along the boiler there, and on the edge of the buffer beam there. So it is in preserved, livery, if you like. But as I say, the details in it, the fine printing of the white bands around the boiler, the white lines around the driving wheels and in fact all the wheels on the front are just superbly picked off, down to the little plates there, and the individually fitted wires along the boiler, the handrails. Looking at the cab, turning it round. I mean, honestly, I want to actually wear white gloves to handle this. It's like a museum piece. If I move the tender slightly back and turn the loco round, the detail in the cab is also a joy to look at. Individual painted seats, the pipework, the firebox, the handles, the valves, all picked out individually. I think all individually fitted pieces. Goodness knows how they get in there to fit these. I really have no idea how they do it. There's even a fine red stripe that runs along, and also picked out on the bogies on the tender as well. So even the tender is really well detailed, and so it should be, to do the model justice. Sprung buffers are present at each end, and this is a tendered, a corridor tendered loco, and picking out the small little window there to let light into the passageway that ran along the side of the tender. As I said, the sprung buffers, individually fitted handrails, white stripe around the top of the tender. I mean, that's really, even there as well, is so neatly done. It really is mind-blowing. To me anyway, it's mind-blowing. You start to think to yourself, when you get a model like this, I know I've got an A4 and it's very well detailed, but when you look at a model like this, with all its intricate detail, printed detail, you're picking out the small little rivets and just the little bits, individually fitted pieces, then you start to realise why a model is now £150 plus for a steam loco. You start to understand and almost accept the price, because the amount of time that's gone into this is, goodness knows how many hours. I know that the people in the factory are, they're doing these day in, day out, and they get into a fine art, but the printing and the computer detail, the computer design on this must have been very, very complex. Sprung buffers at the front there, fitted couplings. I've got also a bag of detailing parts that I could put on if I wish. Not that I'm going to do that just now. It's been running and it's been fitted with an 8-pin decoder, and I will have a running session after I've finished here. I'll just put this down. I'll have a wee aerial view of the loco. The whistles. I'm not a steam expert, so some of the parts and some of the pieces are a bit of a mystery to me, but even picking out these parts in black, and down here as well with white border around them. Can somebody tell me what they actually are? I don't know. It's got a double chimney on this version, and looking down, they get the taper of the boiler just right, and there is roof vents that are shut, but they do slide open quite easily. I don't model steam, as you know from seeing my layout. I don't really go in for steam, but I have got the iconic steam locos. I've now got Flying Scotsman, I've got Mallard, I've got the Union of South Africa, and I've really built up myself a fleet of East Coast flyers, I like to call them. Starting with this one, moving to the Mallard, the A4, then onto your Deltic. I've got the HST, and I've got the Class 91. So really, I've got the full set of East Coast icons, and every single one of them is super detailed, apart from the Class 91. Hopefully that will change in the near future, but you know, this is the king of the rails. They're still selling them on the Locomotion website. I don't know how many they've got left, but certainly I would strongly consider buying one, just purely for the fact that it is the Flying Scotsman. You don't have to model the LNER to appreciate this model. And I hope my review has started to do it justice, because this is one of Hornby's finest. This is what Hornby do best. And full credit to them. This is an absolute peach. A question I'm quite often asked by people posting comments is what's happening with the Tmd area, and when will the upper section tracks be joined from this area here round to where the town scene is, because that's the bit that's not being completed yet, as you can see. It's September just now, mid-September. By the end of the winter I hope to have a fully completed loop on the upper section and have laid the TMD, the track sections anyway. The TMD starts at that kind of newer piece of wood there. Obviously this cutting in area here is just for a bit of visual highlight, a wee cutting area, and also allows me to get into the rolling stock if there's a problem in the tunnel, etc., and for cleaning and maintenance. So it'll go under, the two tracks will go under the TMD at the back there and come out the other end where the fiddle yard joins as well. The track work on here is just in a work in progress just now. I've just literally screwed the uprights to the ply, but you'll have the two main lines coming down there and continuing, so there'll be two main lines at the front here. As you can see, there's one's branched off, okay, and that'll run in front of the servicing shed. We've then got the other one coming in from here, which will join into that one, but also can branch off into this one, into the single lane servicing shed. I've then got a turnout there, which will branch into two, and another turnout which will take a line at the back of this shed, and I might have a head shunt there as well taken to the corner, but I'll explain why there's a slight issue around these just now. Two lanes coming out the shed, which will go, one will go into here, into that shed, and one can branch around the back, and then another one branch down there, again to this side of the shed. The TMD will not stop there, by the way. It will go another maybe foot and a half further on, just to where that turnout is. And then you've got the two lines coming here, and there'll be a line branching off into here from the main line, and obviously I've got other lines coming along here which will converge into joining the main line as well. It's kind of complex idea in my head just now. I'm not going to get too complicated for reasons I'm about to explain. This will probably be the line that takes there, and it will continue, and I might have the head shunt along the other end. But remember, there's two lines under here, and if I put point work here, I've got a point motor under it, which means the point motor can get in the way of the trains underneath. So I'm not going to take the track too far back, because I'm wanting a boundary fence, maybe some factory units or something along the low relief factory units along the back there. And I'm not wanting just track everywhere. I'm wanting, fuel tanks there, a refueling stop. I want a plant, local wash plant, yard offices, and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to cram it all with track. I suppose I don't want to cram it all with buildings either, but I want to try and get the balance. So that's why it's kind of work in progress. But I don't want to take track too far, because the problem then starts to be that the Pico motors impinge on one of the tracks below there, which would defeat the whole purpose of having a main line under there if I couldn't actually use it in case the point motors fouled the trains. So I'm I'm kind of working on this just now. I know I've got 3 buildings here and 3 sheds. They will have inspection pits in them, not all lines, but you know, quite a few of them, and the buildings will be lit, there'll be workshops, etc. And the reason I've put that one kind of staggered like that, tentatively just now, it's not set in stone, is because at Waverley, or sorry, Haymarket depot, they have got a kind of servicing shed at the front, an older shed at the back, and they've actually got another one at the back again, or certainly a longer one. So I'm struggling for space for that, obviously, but I'm trying to get that. And this one at the end has been placed there just now. It might well move. It might be angled. It's a slight angle towards the back scene. And you know, servicing different types of locos at each end of the TMD. But that's my kind of plans just now. You know, to add fuel tanks and all that kind of TMD paraphernalia. I hope that's clear. It's you know, it's about as clear as I've said it, because it's not that clear in my head. But you will have the 2 main lines. You'll have a single track running in front of this one. You'll have one running into there. You'll have 2 into there, and you might have one behind there as well, which will basically loop round the back of the shed, come right along. You know, and it might even keep going right along, and this one could maybe join it. But again, I'm problem with turnouts, you know, so I'm kind of thinking out loud just now. Any ideas? I'm welcome. Welcome to hear them, and you know, I'll take them on board and see what I can do. But at the moment, I say I've just put the boards down, so we are making a bit of progress on the TMD section. It will be a bit of a beast of a TMD. That's 2.5 metres already from the new section to the end here. So you know, it'll probably be to around here. So I'll say another foot. So you know, nudging 3 metres. So I'll get plenty of locos and DMUs stored in there, and a bit of shunting activity. Okay, that's it for the September update. A running session will follow this video in the next 2 or 3 days, so keep an eye out for that. If you've got any comments on what I've been doing this month, any questions, please message me in the usual way. And if you've got any constructive comments, please add them. If you're just going to dislike the video because you just dislike the videos, it would be good if you could post a comment as to why. I do like to take on negative feedback to make my videos and my layout better, so I'd welcome your thoughts if you see anything you don't quite like. Right, thank everyone for watching my videos, and I'll see you soon.